There are only two things that I need kept open at all times. Really cool guitar chords, and coffee shops past 3 p.m. It seems like the trendier the coffee shop, the earlier they close, and I can never make it there on time. But I'm not here to talk about it. I'm talking about chords that sound great open. We're gonna start with some really cool ones. And most of them are really easy to play. They're actually probably easier to play than some of the chords you may have started with in a certain key. So we're gonna do all this in the same key, so these chords can be used together in conjunction with each other, or you can use them to replace chords that you already know. So we're gonna pick a really easy key, the key of C, and then we're gonna do one chord for each of the 7 notes in the key of C. All right? Again, any key only has 7 notes, so a lot of these are gonna be movable. The reason we're picking the key of C is because the open strings on a standard tuned guitar, E, A, D, G, B, E, all those notes are in the key of C. So that's why a lot of these really cool open sounding chords are gonna sound great, is because no matter what string we leave open, it's gonna be in this key. So feel free to experiment with some of these on your own. But let's start with an A minor chord right off the bat. One would think that we would start in C, but no, we're getting right in the middle of it because this is one of my favorite ones, all right? So I've got my pinky actually on the 7th fret of the D string and my pointer finger on the 5th fret of the G string. Guess what? That's it. The mystery. Okay, we could talk about this as like an A minor add 9, but again, it doesn't really matter the name of it. This is just about maybe opening up some ideas and maybe replacing stuff that you already know, okay? So now I'm thinking of my root note here as the open A string. You could also get the low E string. That's another note in an A minor chord. So feel free to get it. A really cool thing that you could do is, I'm using a pick, but if you kind of rake through it like that, think you like have like a Spanish flair. So you could go out to like a nice Mexican restaurant and just start here, and they won't know that you don't know any other chords that go with this. You could probably do that for maybe like a solid 90 seconds before people are like, all right, get on with it, you know? A chord that pairs really well with this actually is an E7, which isn't technically in this key, but just a little quick pro tip: open E, 2A, open D, 1G, open B, open E. And then we do that cool little rake. Okay, so that's a very A minor thing that you could do, but really anytime you have a chord progression in the key of C, just maybe put this on for size. Add a little mystery to your playing. You know it's not a mystery how amazing these strings sound on this D'Angelico guitar because I'm using Elixir Strings. This video is sponsored by Elixir, the finest strings in all the land. I just thought I was maybe holding this upside down and then I probably shouldn't have said it. But yeah, use Elixirs on all my guitars, acoustic and electric. Best strings out there, they'll last forever, they sound great, and they feel great, right? So, if you don't have Elixir Strings, you better open up your hearts to the good people at Elixir because they've sponsored this video and they're one of my biggest supporters. So thank you so much to Elixir Strings. We're gonna continue on, all right? So that's an A minor add 9. Again, just think of it as a type of A minor chord. We're gonna go from here to here. Now the reason I wanted to do it in this order and not start on a C, which this is gonna be a C major 7 chord voicing, is because it sounds so good back to back, right? What a great combo, right? So I've got my middle finger on the C on the A string, 3rd fret A string. Pointer finger is 2nd fret on the D string. Pinky is 4th fret on the G string, and then we still have an open E, B, and E. Okay, so type of C major 7 chord, a little bit like that, right? Now technically we don't really have a G in this chord. We have an E, a C, another E, a B, that same B, and an E. So we're implying that G. Alright, and in fact a lot of these chords we're going to go, you can think of them as having different names, but I'm really just taking it off of a root note and thinking of a type of C chord, right? So really cool, especially when you pair it with that A minor. You could actually open up that G string to make it more of a traditional C major 7, just like that. Okay, and what what we skipped actually was the note between A and C in this key. It's a B, all right? So let's do a type of B chord. Now, B's chord in this key would be half diminished, like a B minor 7 flat 5, but this isn't open enough. We need to open it up. So I'm gonna take the B on the A string, 2nd fret, and the 3rd fret on the D string, which is an F, and then just leave the rest of it open. Okay, really open-ended chord, right? Like, what is the feeling that this chord even is trying to communicate? If you look through the notes, we have an E, a B, an F, a G, a B, and an E. So again, come up with whatever name for that you want. But it's just kind of like a cool little transition that maybe sets up other chords in this key, all right? So those are gonna be our first 3 big open chords, all right? So let's go ahead and do this more in order now. So after C, let's go to D. D minor would be the regular triad in this key. And again, at the end of this video, I'll do a thing where I just maybe take a traditional chord progression and then just maybe replace one of the triads with some of the cool chords that we're gonna learn for the rest of this lesson. Let's do a D chord down here, D minor chord down here. Now you'll notice that I'm leaving a lot of the strings on top, the highest strings open for these to kind of add like this vibe that they all kind of fit together in, okay? So I'm getting my middle finger on the D on the low E string, 10th fret. I'm just gonna skip the A string. I'll probably lay my middle finger across it, which is naturally gonna mute anyway. And then I'm gonna get its minor 7, right here with my ring finger, same fret. And then my pinky, same fret on the G string. So 10 E, 10 D, 10 G, open B, and E, right? It's so kind of like unstable, right? When we're adding that B and E to a D minor chord, because it would be a D and F and A, then a C and a B. There's so many notes in these chords that it just confuses the ear, and it really creates like this cool tension. So that's why I think these are gonna be great replacements for some other chords you already know. But that's gonna be D minor's chord in this group of chords. After this, E, all right? Now E minor would be the regular C, D, E, the regular 3 chord in the key of C. All right, really easy open chord already, right? Let's do another E minor triad, but maybe with like some cool ways to kind of switch up where those notes are falling. So I'm gonna play it like this right here. Okay, so this is gonna be the hardest chord that we're gonna do because there's a big stretch that's involved, but it's open E, 7A, which is another E, and then 5D, which is a G, and then I'm gonna grab 9 on the G string with my pinky to get yet another E, and then open B and open E. So many E's on this one. And the cool thing about this chord is you're right in line to play that A minor. In fact, think of this move right here where my ring finger is on one string on the D string and my pointer finger either way. Think of this as a root note and its minor 3rd. That interval is one of the most important intervals in like rock music especially. But if we just take this a string lower and then add your pinky here, we get a cool E minor triad, right? So that's gonna be the hardest one that we do. But it's not that hard because these Elixir strings feel so good. I use the 80-20 ones now. I used to use just the regular nano webs, but I have been converted to the 80-20, so I will link an affiliate link in the description if you guys are interested, because I know you are. So next we have F, right? C, D, E, F. F is the 4 chord, usually is a major chord. And again, a lot of people learn it as a bar chord first, which is actually more difficult than what you can just play regularly. In fact, let's take a regular C major triad and then move it all the way down here. Okay, so now my ring finger is on the 8th fret. There's my F root note on the A string. And then I can just play a regular C major chord shape. But now what I have is I have an open G, which is in an F major chord, and an open E, which makes it an F major 7 chord, but that G makes it an F. F, G will be the 2, F, G, and we already have the 1 through 5 and 7. So F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. I just counted to 9. F, major 9 right here is going to be the name of this chord. But think of it as just a C shape here. You can do the same thing for a G. Like that, right? All 3 major chords, 1, 4, and 5, in this key are going to work in a cool open way that you can start experimenting with, right? So that's going to be our F chord right there. For G, we could do the same thing. But let's do something a little bit different. Let's take something like this. I really, really like this chord voicing right here. So this is, the G is on the 10th fret of the A string. I have an open D and an open G. So right there, I just have a G power chord, essentially is what I'm doing, right? Then I'm grabbing the 10th fret on the B string, which is an A. So right there, there's that G to an A, so like a G add 9, but also I have another D, right? So, you might have seen this shape for like a C add 9, but now we're just doing it on the 10th fret. Alright, and then that brings us back to A. So, let's recap all of them in order, starting with A. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. These are just 7 new chords used, and then we'll start swapping them out for different things. Alright? Here's our A minor chord. Open, open, 7, 5, open, open. Then the next chord is going to be our B chord. Open, 2, 3, open, open, open. Then our next chord is C, major 7. Open, 3, 2, 4, open, open. Then our next chord is D minor. 10, skip the A string, 10, 10, open, open. Then we have our E minor triad that's like a really big reach right here. Open, 7, 5, 9, open, open. Then we have our F major 9 right here, which is open, 8, 7, open, 6, open. And then our G at 9, which is, again, you could do open here and go open 10, open, open, 10, 10. Or you can even just hold down, the 10th fret on the E string too, to maybe get more of like a bass note closer. Like that, right? So, cool. We've got 7 new chords. So let's quickly maybe experiment with some different chord progressions. Let's take a really basic chord progression. Let's do C, let's do like a 1, 5, 6, 4 in the key of C, which 1 would be C, 5, C, D, E, F, G, C, G, 6 would be A minor, 4 would be F. So a 1, 5, 6, 4 in the key of C would be C, G, A minor, F. Okay, if you don't know how that numbering system works, definitely check out my Patreon because I have sequential lessons on just how to learn all of this stuff. So, the hard thing about YouTube videos is you kind of skip into maybe parts that you're not ready for, or maybe are just just past where you are. But the cool thing about the Patreon is all in order, plus there's like 100 song lessons on there too that talk about the different numberings of the chord progressions, right? So, 1, 5, 6, 4, C, G, A minor, F, C, G, A minor, F. How about we replace that A minor with the one that we learned? C, G, I think I played it, I missed it for a second, so you're gonna C, G, A minor 9, F. Now let's replace the C, C, G, do that same thing again. C major 7. Now next time around, let's do that G add 9 chord. C. Now this time, let's do the higher F major 9 chord. two of them. A minor 9. So basically the whole lesson here is just to think of the notes that are in the key that are open strings, because you can always add and subtract notes along those strings, and you could get some cool combinations of chords that maybe you've never even seen before. You know, and there is a name for everything that you could ever think to come up and play with. But it's really not about the naming, it's about the vibe, right? And this A minor, 9 is a great example of, like, by itself it's just like super mysterious, right? But then in context, it's like maybe less mysterious and more just spicy or something. Whatever the vocab that you want to use, go for it. But thank you again to Elixir Strings for sponsoring this video. They are the best in the business. 80/20 bronze. I also use 12s. That's the gauge. You know the gauge by the thickness of the lowest string. And yeah, I'm this D'Angelico Tammany XL. I usually always have 12s on it. So, like I said, check out the Patreon, get yourself some Elixir Strings with that affiliate link. If you have any questions, let me know in the comment section, Instagram, the website, and I'll talk to you all soon. Thanks a lot.